And today's Tech Talk, I'm sure many of you know John Kenny with Cotney Attorneys and Consultants. John is a very involved in the industry and has many, many years of experience and is a champion of technology. One of the reasons why he is a member of RT3. And John is going to do our Tech Talk today, touching on a couple of things, including Smartsheet, some other technologies, and then he's going to tell you about his new book. So John, are you ready to roll?
I am ready. I'll go ahead and try to share my screen here. And let's see.
I think I might need to stop. Okay, I'll stop. There you go. All yours.
All right, let's see where we're at. All right. Success. Can everybody see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's nice when things work out as planned. So I want to thank you for having me do this today. Pleasure to be here. I always enjoy working with this organization and being involved. It always seems to, get us out there and, get all these great ideas kicking around. So today I'm just going to talk about a couple things that we're involved with on the technology side. All right. So Smartsheet, this is a product that I personally have been using for probably maybe about 8 years or so or more, and used it on the roofing side and developing different uses for it and really trial balance it up through the years. So
I think we worded
We have everybody else muted because I can't hear you.
If we know of specific.
I'm trying to figure out who's talking so I can mute them, and I'm not able to see. Yeah, if you're not John, mute your phone.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
We good? All right. So Smartsheet is, in a nutshell, it's a cloud-based online project management solution, right? So what I always like to describe it, and this comes from years of using it and building out solutions in it, when you think about it, what it is, it's, like Microsoft Project, those type of things. It does scheduling and has it, but it's on steroids, okay? What I mean by that is what you're seeing here is a typical grid layout, real quickly, of a sheet. You get your users assigned, so it's not really Excel. And over there, you see a little bit with the actual bar graph, the bar charts, the Gantz. So it's got a little bit of Microsoft. And on this one, sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit on myself. Bear with me. Okay. So in this one, you see it kind of got the look of familiarity of Excel. So the important thing is, what Smartsheets focuses on is collaboration. You can set up auto alerts back and forth between your team. It allows you to attach files and other documents directly to any one of these projects or line items that you're working on or whatever. It allows you to have discussions. It hooks up with, all the collaborative messaging. Doesn't matter whether it's Teams or Google or anything, it all works. You can request updates from people along the project lines. So if I'm responsible for finishing something, when I'm done with it, it automatically goes down the line to the next person, sends an alert what they need to do, so on and so forth. It also works in reverse. If someone's holding the process up, it automatically will send alerts out to people who need to know that this isn't happening and we got a log jam. So that's one of the things I love the most about it, is it gets everything moving along. The next and one of my most favorite parts of Smartsheet is web forms, right? You create your own forms based on any sheet, so you can gather information from not only within your organization, but from outside your organization. And what happens with that is it brings all this data together, and it can work off your mobile phone or tablet. Really nice to work with. And of course, you can publish the sheets in print and create reports and all the other kind of stuff you do with it. So, in a nutshell, this is an example of different dashboards. So once you get all this data, what do you do with it, right? It's there, it's in there. So what you do with your dashboards is the dashboards are built out to what you want to see. That's what I like about Smartsheet as well. It customizes it. Whatever KPIs you're using in your company, whatever you want to track. If you're a roofing contractor out in the field, you can track your field performance. You can track anything that you possibly want, from accounting to sales to marketing to production, you name it. As long as you get the data, you can track it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then this is a product we're using it in our firm now for tracking our own production and everything. This is called 10,000 feet. Smartsheets purchased this company and really did a great job merging it over about a year or so ago. So what you're looking at with 10,000 feet, this is a high level resource plan management portion where you can have, let's look at it as if you're a roofing contractor. You can have your crews in here. You can have all your projects laid out. And it also connects back into, wow, this is jumping ahead on me on its own here today. You can also hook it back into your smart sheet so that information goes back and forth. Sales sells a job. It'll hook into here and give you a report, tell you what resources you have available to do it. So this is something that's not new, but it's fairly new for us, trying it out and getting it all together, but it works great. I got to tell you that, or we wouldn't use it here in our own firm. So really that kind of covers it in a nutshell on the smart sheets, 10,000 feet. We build these things out, you know, on customized basis for people. We build them out ourselves, customized, constantly changing, easy to use. I want to talk a minute about our estimating training. This is one of a whole world of training that we have coming out. Right now, we have an intermediate estimating training that is up and available. We have an advanced that's coming out in about a month, and we have certification processes that are coming as well. And then you're going to see safety, production, you name it, it's all coming. We're going to have a full service. So on the estimating training, you know, if you take this course, it is meant for a beginner all the way up to about an intermediate level. So if you have somebody estimating for a couple of years, this will work, train them and get them there. But we wanted to get this out there also as a great avenue to get people interested in the industry. That's what it's about today, getting people recruited and in. So we figure the best way to do that is with technology. This is all online. It really works smooth and well. One of the things I wanted to let everybody know here today, this is the member code. So if you are an RT3 member and you put this code into our Shopify address, you will get a 15% discount off. So we wanted to offer that to our membership there. Before I jump into the book, I know I wanted to open this up. Does anyone have, and I know at the end we'll talk a little more, but does anybody have any immediate questions on anything so far that they'd like to ask?
Hey, John, I may have missed it. Is the estimating residential and commercial?
Yes, it is absolutely covers both steep slope and slow slope, both residential and commercial. One of the things we go in here is deep dive into the residential and how to figure out all the different types of roofs. Spend a lot of time on understanding the construction math and the geometry that goes into building steep slope roofs. So they're definitely going to get a lot out of this, both either whether you're on the residential side or the commercial side. We made it it's just for roofers. This is a roofing software estimating program, but it covers both things.
John, and I think you said this, but just, I mean, when we're looking at this from a technology standpoint, I think this is so amazing because it's all virtual and it's contractors from anywhere. So maybe just before you go into the book, just talk a little bit about, you know, using technology to really get training out in the field in such a unique manner.
Right. So this is not a PowerPoint presentation you're going to go through. When you get in this is voice training. It's got, I mean, we have some video stuff in here. There's some amazing things. And when I say amazing, we took the best we could of technology available today and made this so it wasn't, and I apologize for this jumping, it keeps wanting to jump ahead on me. It takes the modern technology that's available to us today and gets it out there to make it interesting. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you're going to talk about a cinema movie or however you want to look at it. This keeps you engaged. When I showed this to my wife and my daughter, who's a school teacher, and when I got this done, and they were like, my wife goes, "Oh my God, I've been married to you for longer than I want to count." She says, "You've always been in the roofing industry, but I now understand what it takes to put to estimate a roof." And I'm like, "My God." And she says it was really good. And I'm saying, well, that's great. My daughter from the teacher side says to me, "Can we get this into our VOTEC kids in the school?" She's a high school teacher. I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So to me, when we got done with that through technology, that was a double win on my book, right? I had somebody that, has been married to me, understands what I talk about with roofing, and understands the business end, but I've never sat with her and said, oh, here's how you estimate a roof. And when she got done, she says, my God, I didn't know there were so many parts to a roof. Now I know what a gable is. Now I know what all this is. It went through the whole thing. So, and then she says, I didn't realize there were, the math, you taught the math so easily in this. So we have a lot of exercises, downloads, and it's all technology based. The tests are all online, self-grading. There's practice exams in between each module to get them trained up. So I think we've covered as much technology that's available out there. So this is kind of like almost get you into that. When I say game feel, what I mean is when you're looking at this, it's not like doing a webinar, watching a PowerPoint. I think the younger people coming into the industry are really going to enjoy taking this training because it speaks to them. All right. I'll answer anything else at the end, but I'll jump to the screen of the book where it keeps wanting to go. I don't know if that's because my slide's trying to boost sales. I don't know the reason, but it's getting us there. So the book, Blueprints to Your Business. So I wrote this book based on my experiences over being in the family roofing business, the commercial roofing business, the residential, everything I've learned in all these years put together that I felt wasn't out there. I went through a lot of struggles writing this book, through gaining knowledge through the years. So I kind of put it together. And what I want to talk mainly about my last chapter in here, which is technology. So I go through the basics of business, a little bit of the industry, and all that's in your estimating, putting sales teams together, all that's here. But the end, where this is a technology group, so I want to talk about technology. I had the most fun with the last chapter of this book, and I saved it for last just to begin with. I talk about, here's the things that's in our industry right now. All things you've heard, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the Internet of Things, which honestly, I didn't quite understand all that till I really dove into it. And I said, wow, we do use that. Explain that. Robotics and drones. I mean, they're coming into our industry. We're using them. You're seeing them. So we talk about that. 5G, and then, the Wi-Fi 6, which is coming out, which is going to really take our industry to the next level. BIM, we talk a little bit about that so people understand it. Virtual reality, augmented reality, and one of my favorite areas was 3D printing. So I've been looking into this 3D printing, and I realized that, this has been going on a while. They actually started doing in the third world countries where they bring the printers right out into areas where they couldn't get material in, and they're printing, these looks like metal roofs or tile roofs, and they're taking up the entire process of a 10 by 20 house. Those are the things that are like the early stages of it, but you're going to see 3D printing really heavily come into our industry. So what I talk about in here is how, as roofing, in the roofing industry, we all need to stay on top of this because we don't want anyone else getting out ahead of us. And we want to be the ones that are on the forefront. So if we're going to start using 3D printing and other technology methods to put roofing down, then by gosh, it should be us as the roofing industry doing it and not some investment firm on the outside coming in and taking over our industry. So that's really where the juices get going in this chapter, is learning about what's out there and not letting it be taken away from us. We need to keep this, we need to own it, and we need to learn it. So that's what we cover in that. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I know we're limited on presentation time. I want it to be respectful and not run over. So I hope we covered everything here. And as always, I think most of you know how to get a hold of me. I'm available, I like to say almost 24/7 between all the messenger services and everything. And, as my wife says, she asked me last night, she says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm answering some emails and some messages. She says, it's like you just go from one corner of the office to another. I said, no, give me a minute and I'll be all good. We'll have some time together here. So I'm available if you ever need me. So that's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and we gave you a little insight into what we're doing and how exciting that I get with technology. I think it's fantastic in our industry and we have so much more to learn and do.
Thank you, John. That was fantastic. Does anybody have any additional questions for John?
So I can just say, first off, obviously I'm biased because I work with John. He's been my friend for 20 years, but I know a lot about roofing, but I'm not on the operations side, right? But I am a CEO And I can tell you, once we implemented Smartsheet, it allowed me to really get that fingertip feel. You know, I'm not a deep dive Excel spreadsheet kind of guy. I need to see everything in front of me, and I have that deep dive capability. But I can tell you, once we switched to Smartsheet, our productivity, our profitability, our efficiency went way up. And on the estimating training side, I watched that. And I got to tell you, I've joked about this before, but if this whole law thing doesn't work out, I'm going to go become an estimator, because I watched that and I was like, wow, there were some great videos on there. It is quality production, and you know, kudos again. I'm biased, but kudos to you, John. You know, great job.
Trent, I know some people that'll hire you.
Well, if they take the training, we can train it. We're going to train the industry. That's what it's about.
I had a quick question, John and Trent. You said that, you know, you're using Smartsheets in your business. So when I think of Smartsheets and think about the notifications and keeping the jobs online and all that, it makes sense for me for a roofing company or for a project management. But can you talk just a tad bit more about how you're using it more in, I mean, obviously in a law and consulting firm?
So I can tell you from my end, and again, I have to count on my fingers. I'm not the math guy, you know, but what I'll tell you is we have drilled down every operational aspect of our business. And what it does is, you know, before John came on, everything was via email. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails. Can you do this? Can you do that? Now, everything that you need done. So regardless of whether it's a repair request, a reimbursement, anything HR related, anything and everything is processed through Smartsheet, and you automatically get notifications. You automatically work real time, and it syncs with all of our other software. So it really gives you the capability of getting sort of that operating system for your business. And it's made my life a lot easier. I don't have to deal with a lot of the admin headaches. Still got to do a little bit, but it's helped resolve a lot of it just because it's increased efficiency.
And I can tell you, as the COO of the firm, if it wasn't for having tools like this, you know, I probably shouldn't say this because Trent, I'll give my secrets away, but he will come in and ask me for about 14,000 updates on a Monday morning. And I just have to pull my screen up and keep it on the side where he can't see. And I look out of the corner of my eye, and it's like I've memorized all the stats. So that's what I like about it. So, you know, as you said, how do we use it, Heidi? It is not only on our end, we also onboard all our clients through it. They don't even realize they're going through the process, right? But what's important is we know how long, if anybody's caught in a log jam that has not been transferred over to the next person down the line, or they've got something sitting out there, we know it. We track our marketing trends through it. We track everything that we do through it. So it's not just internal. It ties into our external through, you know, dashboards and portals to our clients and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. That definitely anybody on here that is in that, you know, is below the CEO level. If you're at the CEO level, Trent gave you that. But if you're below it, this is a great tool to get what you need up to the people above you without doing all these reports and printing and documentation. So I just want to add that in there.
I'm interested.
John, question for you. Is there an app? Can you be, you know, doing stuff on your phone or tablet through Smartsheet?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole program is in the cloud base, and then there's an app which is both for iPhones and Samsung's Galaxies, anything. So long, either Google Store or Apple Store. So either one's on that program, you can get it. And they've really come a long way in the last about 18 months with that you can actually now view your dashboards very clearly on your phones, where that was a little hinky when it first came out. So they've got that. So pretty much I can tell you right now, I don't use, unless it's a matter of going in and designing something or coming up with it, I don't use hardly use my desktop at all. I look at all my stats on the phone. I get alerts that ask me if I approve a payment to be done. Everything I do is on my phone. So I live off of the phone with the Smartsheets. That's how I use it.
And can you share pricing? What kind of investment is involved?
Yeah, so the Smartsheet itself, we send our clients out to get it directly from Smartsheets, right? So Smartsheets, it's its own company. Realistically, your minimum investment to start out on that, I believe, is around $1,200 a year. They require you to get 3 licenses, and that's about what it is, $1,200 to $1,500. That's enough to get you going. Now, that doesn't mean that only 3 people in your company can use it. That just means that you have 3 licenses to design your own sheets. I can tell you right now, I definitely do not recommend that multiple people in any company design your sheets. You want to either have one smart sheet person, in your company designated to doing that. You can have as many users and viewers as you want at this point. There's no limitation on that. And if you have outside clients, you can give them access just to their particular information at no charge, and that's all they can view. And then what we do is if our clients get that, they sign up, then we go in and we'll, depending on what they want, we'll price it as a custom build out. So we do all the work for the clients and design it and customize it to tailor to their needs, because everybody's different. So whether whatever you want, that is of course customized, priced out, but the rest of it, as far as the smart sheet part, it's really not a huge investment and it works really well. So one of the things, let me tell you this, so we tie it in, and this is for great end technology. One of the hardest heartaches we've had is tying this into other softwares through APIs. It's not that it's a smart sheets heartache, it's getting other softwares to be wide open to allow APIs. But we're getting closer and closer. So between a couple other software technologies, and I even invested this summer, we have our own programmer brought in here working on internal APIs on softwares that we're using. So it's getting a lot better. So I know when I was on the technology task force, we were talking about that, about APIs and generalization. So there's no generalization, but there are solutions to hook this to pretty much any software that you're using. So that's another good thing about it.
Okay. And there came up once again, Heidi, we keep talking about this open API is the pain point in the industry, and RT3 is going to probably start making a little bit of noise in that area moving ahead. Any other questions for John before we move on to organizational business? Oop. Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And if you guys didn't notice in the chat, if you didn't see it, check the chat. It is a note in there about how to get a copy of John's book for free. And then some information on the estimating training and the discount code. So we will move on to, now, Greg, did you have to hop off already?
He's gone.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, okay.
It's Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
Greg Bloom, okay. Did you want to give a quick membership update? I'll advance ahead to your section before you got to run and fly away.
This is Greg Hain, not Greg Bloom.
Oh, okay. Well, then Greg Bloom must be gone. So he apologized. He had to, boarding a plane. So, okay, organizational task team. We've got some changes, and hopefully you all had a chance. I sent a link out that it was in the body of the meeting notice. It's still in the body of the meeting notice. And it has information on 3 individuals who are interested in becoming